Dear friends, Jai Bhim Namo Buddhaya. Today I am going to talk about a very interesting topic regarding Buddhism. It is about vegetarianism and attitude of Buddhists towards animal life. I am reading from the book What Buddhists Believe by K. Sri Dhammanad. You can view a lot of videos where K. Sri Dhammanad ji is giving speeches, talks on Buddhism. So let us begin what he has written on vegetarianism and attitude towards animals. Vegetarianism. One should not judge the purity or impurity of man simply by observing what he eats. This line is the essence, that one should not judge the purity or impurity of man simply by observing what he eats. But does this mean that we should start killing every animal, every bird we see and start eating, because we can say that easily that we are pure by our mind. So let us see what K. Dhammanad ji has written. In the Amagandh Sutta, the Buddha said, neither meat, nor fasting, nor nakedness, nor shaven heads, nor matted hair, nor dirt, nor rough skins, nor fire worshipping, nor all the penances here in this world, nor hymns, nor oblation, nor sacrifice, nor feasts of the seasons will purify a man overcome with doubt. Taking fish and meat by itself does not make a man become impure. A man makes himself impure by bigotry, deceit, envy, self-exaltation, disparagement, and other evil intentions. Through his own evil thoughts and actions, man makes himself impure. There is no strict rule in Buddhism that the followers of the Buddha should not take fish and meat. The only advice given by the Buddha is that they should not be involved in killing intentionally, or they should not ask others to kill any living being for them. However, those who take vegetable food and abstain from animal flesh are praiseworthy. Though the Buddha did not advocate vegetarianism for the monks, he did advise the monks to avoid taking 10 kinds of meat for their self-respect and protection. They are humans, elephants, horses, dogs, snakes, lions, tigers, leopards, bears, hyenas. Some animals attack people when they smell the flesh of their own kind. When the Buddha was asked to introduce vegetarianism among his disciples by Devdutt, one of his disciples, the Buddha refused to do so. As Buddhism is a free religion, his advice was to leave the decision regarding vegetarianism to the individual disciple. It clearly shows that the Buddha had not considered this as a very important religious observance. The Buddha did not mention anything about vegetarianism for the lay Buddhists in his teachings. The lay Buddhist means all Buddhists who are not monks. So they can. He did not mention anything. This means that the lay Buddhist, a normal person who is not a monk, according to Buddhism, they can eat meat or fish. Jivak Kumar Bach, the doctor, discussed this controversial issue with Buddha. Lord, I have heard that animals are slaughtered on purpose for the recluse Gautam, and that the recluse Gautam knowingly eats the meat killed on purpose for him. Lord, do those who say animals are slaughtered on purpose for the recluse Gautam, and the recluse Gautam knowingly eats the meat killed on purpose for him, do they falsely accuse the Buddha, or do they speak the truth? Are you are your declarations and supplementary declarations not thus subject to be ridiculed by others in any manner? Jivak, those who says animals are slaughtered on purpose for the recluse Gautam, and the recluse Gautam knowingly eats the meat killed on purpose for him, do not say according to what I have declared, and they falsely accuse me. Jivak, I have declared that one should not make use of meat if it is seen, heard, or suspected to have been killed on purpose for a monk. See, on purpose for a monk, it doesn't mean that for everyone, it is only for monks. I allow the monks meat that is quite pure in their respects, in three respects: if it is not seen, heard, or suspected to have been killed on purpose for a monk. So this is only for monks, it is not for other people apart from monks. In certain countries, the followers of Mahayana school of Buddhism are strict vegetarians. While appreciating their observance in the name of religion, we should like to point out that they should not condemn those who are not vegetarians. They must remember that there is no precept in the original teachings of the Buddha that requires all Buddhists to be vegetarians. We must realize that Buddhism is known as the middle path. It is a liberal religion, and the Buddha's advice was that it is not necessary to go to extremes to practice his teachings. Vegetarianism alone does not help a man to cultivate his human qualities. There are kind, humble, polite, and religious people amongst non-vegetarians. Therefore, one should not condone the statement that a pure religious man must practice vegetarianism. On the other hand, if anybody thinks that people cannot have a healthy life without taking fish and meat, it does not necessarily follow that they are correct, since there are millions of pure vegetarians all over the world who are stronger and healthier than the meat eaters. People who criticize Buddhists who eat meat do not understand the Buddhist attitude towards food. A living being needs nourishment. We eat to live. As such, a human being should supply his body with the food he needs to keep him healthy and to give him energy to work. However, as a result of increasing wealth, more and more people, especially in developed countries, eat simply to satisfy their palates. If one craves after any kind of food or kills to satisfy his greed for meat, this is wrong. But if one eats without greed and without directly being involved in the act of killing, but merely to sustain the physical body, he is practicing self restraint. Now, let us see what is the Buddhist attitude to animal life. The Buddhist attitude to animal life. If we believe that animals were created by someone for man, it would follow that men were also created for animals, since some animals do eat human flesh. Animals are said to be conscious only for the present. They live with no concern for the past or future. Likewise, little children seem to have no notion of the future. They also live in the present until their faculties of memory and imagination are developed. Man possesses the faculty of reasoning. The gap between man and animal widens only to the extent that man develops his reasoning faculty and acts accordingly. Buddhists accept that animals not only possess instinctive power but also, to a lesser degree, thinking power. In some respects, animals are superior to man. Dogs have a keener sense of hearing, insects have a keener sense of smell, hawks are speedier, eagles can see a greater distance. Undoubtedly, men are wiser, but men have so much to learn from the ants and bees. Much of the animal is still in us. But we also have much more. We have the potential of spiritual development. Buddhism cannot accept that animals were created by someone for man. If animals were created for man, then it could follow that men were also created for animals, since there are some animals which eat human flesh. Buddhists are encouraged to love all living beings and not to restrict their love only to human beings. They should practice loving kindness towards every living being. The Buddha's advice is that it is not right for us to take away the life of any living being, since every living being has a right to exist. Animals also have fear and pain as do human beings. It is wrong to take away their lives. We should not misuse our intelligence and strength to destroy animals, even though they may sometimes be a nuisance to us. Animals need our sympathy. Destroying them is not the only method to get rid of them. Every living being is contributing something to maintain this world. It is unfair for us to deprive their living rights. In his Handbook of Reason, D. Runes says, "We can hardly speak of morals in relation to creatures we systematically devour, mostly singed but sometimes raw. They are men and women who practice horse love, dog love, cat love, but these very same people would take a deer or a calf by its neck, slit its throat, drink the blood straight away, or in a pudding, and bite off the flesh. And who is to say that a horse they cherish is nobler than a deer they fed on? Indeed, there are people who eat cats, dogs, and horses, but would use a cow only as a work animal. Some cry over a little bit. Some cry over a little bird or goldfish that expired. Others travel long distances to catch fish on a nasty hook for food or mere pleasure of shooting birds for fun. Some go into deep jungle for hunting animals as a game, while others spend a lot to keep the same animals at home as their pets. Some keep frogs to foretell the weather. Others cut off their legs and fry them. Some tenderly tend birds in gilded cages. Others serve them for breakfast. It is all quite confusing. One thought stands out: in a world where man clubs man for gain or sheer gore, there is hardly time to ponder over his morals in relation to animals. Every religion advises us to love our fellow humans. Some even teach us to love them more if they belong to the same religion. But Buddhism is supreme that it teaches us to show equal care and compassion for each and every creature in the universe. The destruction of any creature represents a disturbance of the universal order. The Buddha was very clear in his teachings against any form of cruelty to any living being. One day the Buddha saw a man preparing to make an animal sacrifice. On being asked why he was going to kill innocent animals, the man replied that it was because it would please the gods. The Buddha then offered himself as the sacrifice, saying that if the life of an animal would please the god, then the life of a human being, more valuable, would please the gods even more. Man's cruelty towards animals is another expression of his uncontrolled greed. Today we destroy animals and deprive them of their natural rights so that we can expand our environments for our convenience, but we are already beginning to pay the price for the selfish and cruel act. Our environment is threatened, and if we do not take stern measures for the survival of other creatures, our own existence on this earth may not be guaranteed. It is true that existence of certain creatures is a threat to human existence, but we never consider that humans are the greatest threat to every living being on this earth and in the air, whereas the existence of other creatures is a threat only to certain living beings, since every creature contributes something for the maintenance of the planet and atmosphere. Destroying them is not the solution to overcome our disturbances. We should take other measures to maintain the balance of nature. See what we have found in this book, what K. Dhammanad has written on these two topics. One, the basically the question of animals. He has given two things, that about eating animals and about taking care of animals. He has said that Buddha never introduced a strict rule of not eating animals, although some rules he made under which a monk could eat, but the rules were not for the common man, for the common Buddhist. So common Buddhist, according to Buddhism, can eat animals, and some restriction they have given. Along with this, he is also saying that we should grow as a human being. It's okay that our need, we are eating animals for a long time, and animals are very precious to the earth, they are very precious to the environment also, and they also have life to live. They also have life, they feel same pain, they feel same kind of, they also have same kind of children as we have, they have same kind of homes as we have. We also make our homes, they also make. You may find some rats in your homes, they are also making their own homes, so they also have their life. And Buddha also says that we don't have any right to take any life of other person. But it is ironical that in country like India, the cow has become a symbol of vegetarianism, which is a totally political stunt, because in Vedas there are slokas where they are how to sacrifice a cow is written in the Vedas, and cow used to be eaten in India, and even presently many people in India eat cow. What Hindus have done, and particularly some faction of Hindus have done, they have made cow eating, beef eating, a kind of political agenda. It has nothing to do with their religion, it has nothing to do with other people. Even among Hindus, there are a lot of Hindus who eat cow, there are a lot of people. But of course, if they want to do this thing, or if anyone says that I don't want to eat cow, I don't want to eat pork, then they should also not eat any other animal. They should also not kill the insects which grow on the crops. When we grow crops, there are a lot of insects. Even there are insects on our body, there are microorganisms. We kill a lot of organisms to survive. So somehow survival is a part of killing is a part of survival, but we should also take care of not to kill, because Also, there is an industry which is based on how much meat or fish a person eats, and the more we eat, the more these kind of people who are having industry, they become richer. So, and also our body consume a particular kind of flesh, a particular kind of meat, which may or may not be helpful, which may be harmful to the body. So we have also become a kind of agent to a particular industrialist, a particular person who is becoming rich, because you see the cost of meat and flesh and meat and fish, how expensive these are. So these things we should also consider, and we should also take some good, but it doesn't mean that you should start asking other people that please don't eat meat. This doesn't mean that you have a Buddhist thought. Don't criticize other. You can ask them, try to eat something else. If nothing, it's okay. Then eat meat, but also think about the life of an animal or bird you kill. That is the gist of Buddhism, I would say. Thank you very much. Jai Bhim, Namo Buddhaya.